Hello, everyone. I am Brandon K. Hedgepeth, lifelong learner, communicator, and of course your friend. And I'm so glad to welcome you all here to this episode of the Tansson Talks show. I always love doing this show, and it's my way to just help bring people together. And I couldn't do it without all of you viewers. But let's go ahead and get into today's episode. So please welcome my guest for today, Lucas Marrero. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you. Far too kind.
Well, I'm so glad to have you. And so, how's your day been going so far?
It's been all right so far. I woke up. My dog that we got recently just would not let me sleep, so I had to do all that, and now I'm here.
Well, nevertheless, at least congratulations on getting a dog, but hopefully you'll be able to have more rest-filled nights going forward.
Oh, I hope, man. My goodness. The nights are fine. It's just the mornings that he's like, oh, yeah.
Well, that makes perfect sense, but at least, hopefully it will, it'll be an adjustment period for sure, but hopefully, your dog will begin to settle down.
Hopefully.
Yeah, well, first, like I said, I'm so glad to have you here and to meet you. And so, before we go ahead and get started, are you able to go ahead and introduce yourself for the watching and listening audience here today on the Tansson Talk show?
Yeah, sure. So, as this lovely gentleman has said already, I'm Lucas Marrero. I am based here in Melbourne, Florida, the Space Coast area, like around Orlando and all that. I am a student at Valencia College, which is also the community college in Orlando. I'm studying video production, and I have been trying to like get myself in there, or get myself out there, I should say. Trying to like make myself into like some sort of business owner type of thing, like doing a production business, or not even like trying to do anything like major, just like trying to get out there, that sort of thing. Just something so I can work doing something I love, that sort of thing.
Well, that makes perfect sense. And yeah, I'm just so excited to get into this and hear more about your passion. And so, overall, what got you into, wanting to do video production and, and all of this?
Okay, so have you ever heard of this little game called Minecraft?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So, as I'm sure plenty of people around my age now that are trying to do what I'm trying to do, I started off trying to make like terrible Minecraft Let's Plays and all that. Actually, no. Before that, it used to be a game called Toontown. It was a Disney game. It was like an MMO for children. I tried to make videos off of that in Club Penguin, and then I tried to do a Minecraft Let's Play. None of them were good. No, of course, none of it was good. But that was what got me into an interest of doing this sort of thing. And so I go through like elementary school, middle school, just hemming and hawing, and as I'm getting ready to go to high school, I see that they have this thing called the Communications Academy in my school, DeLand High. Shout out! But yeah, so I saw it and it looked interesting, and there's like two main things. There was video production and journalism, and the thing I was interested in was video production. So I went through that and found out I love this stuff, and I could be decent at it. So I figured, yeah, why not? And since then, I've just been trying to get good, basically. Yeah.
But that's so interesting that you start off with trying to make those Let's Play videos. And what's funny is I think almost anyone like of our age, like really, I'm sure would have loved to, do those. And I mean, we had all of those, great web games back then. And so, So yeah, but that's interesting that they helped sort of lead you into wanting to join your communications academy. And so, how was the academy set up in your high school?
So it was essentially the kids that were in it, and like in the same level or all that, but they would get like classes together, like certain classes together. Like we had a multimedia class together, which is like graphic design, learning how to use. At first, it was just like learning how to use Office, that sort of stuff. And then it became like, oh, how to use Photoshop, how to use Illustrator. We were gonna get to InDesign, but then COVID happened, and then you know what happened then. But yeah, we were doing that. We had like English classes together for the first like half, and then I went into AP, but that's a different story. Um, yeah, we did that. We had the video class, obviously. Uh, that was like the main class for at least the people in my grade. Everyone that was in my grade who was in the academy, we were doing video. We didn't have any journalism kids for us. They all dropped out. Um, but yeah, that was essentially. It was basically just bringing a bunch of kids in the academy together, and they would work together doing things. We would do like we have like academy field trips. We went to a local news organization, Channel 6 in Orlando. We looked at the backlots at Universal. They told us about the Dave School, which is the School of Design, Arts, and Video Entertainment, I think is what the VE stands for. Something like that. But yeah, they were just showing us stuff like that. They had uh, someone from SCAD come talk to us. Just stuff like that, essentially. We were all together trying to learn together.
That makes sense. And so essentially, like all your classes were grouped together for those of you in the academy.
Yeah, not like all of them, but like a fair amount of them.
And so, did that help like create like a, I guess, cohesive environment for you all, like being able to, yeah, have some of the same experiences and sort of go about your, days like for the most part together, aside from maybe a class or two.
Uh, a decent amount. Admittedly, in my level at least, it, it was we weren't the greatest to be honest. I think most of the people in my level weren't taking it like very seriously. I think I was the one taking it the most seriously, and it's not a rag on them or anything. It's just kind of what happened. But yeah, so it felt like I was kind of for me. It was like I was trying to do more stuff, like doing stuff like little personal projects outside that sort of thing. Um, so I didn't get like a whole lot of like bouncing stuff off each other, but it still helped a little bit. Like doing with someone that knows a little something at least.
Well, at least you were able to, at least do your best to make the most of it and, and enjoy the experience. And so you mentioned that you were working on some personal projects as well at the time and sort of, I guess, using your what you were learning in your courses to help, improve and work on your personal projects. So what type of projects were you working on?
Oh man, I know you told me I can't swear, but I just made like the poop posts. You see, just a bunch of that, just like very unserious stuff, but like trying to do something like learning something technical with it, but it was very unserious stuff. Yeah.
Well, nevertheless, though, I mean, regardless of what you use to, use for your experience, I mean, at least you're able to, build on top of it. And so, how many years was the program? Was it all 4 years, or was it just for a certain amount of time?
Yes, it was all 4 years. It was all 4 years. Yes.
So, how would you say that your level of understanding has evolved during those 4 years, especially compared to what you were doing a little bit before, and yeah, and then immediately afterwards?
Um, I'd say my level of understanding has increased greatly. It's you ever seen like that chart of like I think one thing is confidence and the other is knowledge, and like it's like a graph where you're really confident in the beginning, but you don't know anything. But then as you know more stuff, you're less confident. It's been like that for me. Like since like leaving the academy, I think like, oh, I know all this, and then I try to do more stuff at college, and like, oh, I don't know anything. I'm stupid, and it's been like that basically.
Yeah, I actually completely get that. So for me, I had started my time in YouTube initially when I was in 8th grade, and so at the time, I didn't act like I necessarily knew everything, but I mean, I felt pretty confident in what I was doing, to say the least. And so yeah, but by the time I got to 11th grade and started doing like actual video production on a local level, I was like, oh, there's a lot I really don't know. So, you know, but when you're just starting off though, and when you have, especially for like for me at least, self-taught, you know, I think you really do have that level of confidence because you don't really know, you don't really know what to expect. You just know that you're able to do your best. But it's like when you grow and evolve, you're like, oh, I can learn, but at the same time, it almost gives you like imposter syndrome to go back to it.
Yeah, imposter syndrome is quite a thing. And just I think that's just for everybody. I don't even think it's just an individual. I think just everyone's gonna have that when you're getting better at something.
Yeah, that is so true. And and yeah, and so you mentioned the COVID-19, pandemic, of course, that impacted your high school experience. So how was your so what were how did you all like I guess have to shift gears because of that, especially with your production classes, because I'm sure those were very hands-on.
Yeah, so I I was gonna graduate. Oh, I did graduate in 2020 from high school, and so by the by the by the time like it all happened, we it was happening like at spring break, and we thought like, oh, it's just gonna be 2 week spring break, woo! But yeah, we never come back. But so uh, our video teacher, he for just that last quarter, he just let it go easy on us. He figured, dang, these kids are having it rough. So he just said, just do something if you feel like it. It doesn't even have to, you don't have to record it yourself. You can just put stuff together and just do that. So I made like a um, another another just very unserious post about this. I made fantastic decisions. I decided, you know what? When the pandemic started, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna get a job at Papa John's while I'm also working at the library, while I'm also trying to get my diploma. I made fantastic choices, but I just made like a. It was at the time when John Schnatter, the founder of Papa John's, did the whole like 40 pizzas and the day of reckoning will come. I just did a whole like thing of that. It was really funny, but yeah, that's basically what we did.
Well, were you able to at least make the experience like your own by by being home and having a bit of unstructured time? And how was that for you, balancing, your schoolwork with all your jobs and everything?
Oh, it was not very great. I put too much on my plate at one time. It was not a good idea at all. Don't do what I did. If for some reason there's another pandemic and you're watching this and like you're about to graduate, don't get a job. Don't get another job. You don't need that unless you need it. But unless yeah, don't do what I did. Don't push yourself too much.
Well, at least you took initiative to not just make it like passive time. That you at least took the initiative to, to want to do something else, and and stay active during the time, even though that no one really knew like what to expect for what's happening next.
Yeah, I I figured it was gonna be like when all the news was coming out. I knew like, oh, this is gonna be bad. I don't know what was gonna happen, but I knew it was gonna be bad. Like in January 2020 when the news started spreading, and yeah, I figured in case something happens and God forbid my mom loses her job or something, I should work or something. That's what I decided I had to do.
Well, at least that you just did your best. I mean, and yeah, but how did being a part of the class of 2020 that never really had a chance to finish high school in the traditional sense, how did that sort of impact, you know, I guess what you do now, like what you did immediately after high school?
Um, Truth be told, I um, it really threw a big wrench in everything because my plan was going to be like, I'm gonna graduate, I'm gonna like do all this like work, I'm gonna try and like video work, I'm gonna try and get into something somewhere. Uh, yeah, putting that job like working. If you work in fast food, you like it's rough. Trust me. But yeah, I did that, and it like really drained me, and I just lost motivation for a few years. Just like I'm not doing anything. Like I was still going doing the school stuff, but I didn't do anything outside of that. It was just like, oh, I have to do this. Okay, I guess I'll do this. And really, that spark only came back recently, and I'm just trying to capitalize on that as much as I can.
That makes perfect sense, though. And so, at what point did you decide on, I guess, what what you were going to do next? Did you go straight into into college, or did you take a break for yourself, or how did that process go for you?
I knew I was gonna go right back into college. I just took the summer off, but excuse me. Yeah, I just took the summer off like everyone does. Yeah, I went to Valencia. It's the community college in Orlando. Some of the first classes were all online. I think after like I think spring 2021 was my first in person class. Maybe I don't remember exactly when that happened, but yeah, we went back to that around there, and yeah, I was just I don't even remember what the question was at this point. To be honest with you, I'm sorry, I strayed so far. I think.
No, you are quite fine. Yeah, so I was just asking, how was the process like, deciding to go into college and continue with your education? Did you always know you wanted to go to Valencia College?
Initially, I thought I was going to go to Daytona State College because I thought we were going to move to Orlando at the time. Daytona would have been closer to me at the time, um, and so, but then I looked into it, and Valencia College for me, it looked like it has a better film and video program than Daytona or really anything in the area. I'm actually really lucky because it's actually really comparatively, it's like a really good program for like one of the better ones in the nation for video production. So I'm like, okay, well, it's not that far. May as well, right? Yeah. So I just stuck with it, even though now I'm living in Brevard County with my partner and their family, and the closest one is EFSC, Eastern Florida State College, and my partner even works there. But I'm still sticking with Valencia because I just think it'd be a better use of my time going there.
Well, that makes sense. And so, are you enjoying your time at Valencia College? I presume this would be your second or third year.
This is my technically third year. Well, no, I started in like fall of 2020, so I guess I'm like still in the second year technically. I'm not sure, something like that, but somewhere in between there. But yeah, I have enjoyed my time. I've been a bit slow trying to finish everything. I've been doing like classes part time. I'm hoping I can finish by, if not spring, then summer of next year. That is my hope, to get the associates.
Well, I nevertheless, hope that it all, really works out for you. And so you mentioned earlier, of course, that you have now begun taking your interest in videography and shifting it over to potentially become a business. So how has that process been for you? When did you decide that you were actually serious with this?
Um, about a month and a half ago, probably. um, yeah, I just had like a come to Jesus moment, and it's just like, oh my god, if I don't start doing something, I'm never gonna start ever, and I'm gonna waste my life, and I'm gonna be so sad. And yeah, so I was like, it's now or never. So I like I printed. I bought a website from Squarespace because I saw there's a student discount for like 50% off annually for a little bit. So I was like, okay, if I spend money on this, I'm gonna feel motivated. And yeah, I even bought like business cards and stuff. And yeah, I was like, I have to invest into this, or I'm never gonna do anything.
How was the process like, making your website, making your business cards and everything? That did you make you feel like a little bit more official, and you know and I don't know, like coming into your craft?
Something about like having to actually spend money into something, it makes you care about it a bit more, you know. Um, yeah, I saw that and like, okay, let's do this. 'Cause it was also perfect timing because I saw the deal at the same time. I had um, an advanced digital video production class this spring. I think that's what it was called. Excuse me. Um, excuse me. Um, yeah, so we did that. We had a portfolio assignment. Like you can do a portfolio and a demo reel, and I'm like, I had an assignment like that before to do for Wix, but I really did not like using Wix. And so I'm like, Squarespace, I always hear good things about that, and I always see the codes online for it, so why don't we try it? But then I saw the 50% off. I'm like, okay, we're doing this. We're doing this. And so I did it. I, I bought it, and when I bought it, I figured, okay, it was like $100. I gotta do something with it. I gotta take this seriously. And that's when I started looking around this area, like local businesses and such, and like, hey, can I shoot you something so I can put on my portfolio? And I've had a little bit of success so far. I have worked with a record shop here, Cyber Vinyl Records. They're really cool if you're ever in the area in Melbourne. They're sick. I love them. Uh, yeah, I worked with her. I did a promo video for Record Store Day, and I did a small documentary for Record Store Day as well. And I've I'm currently in the works of trying to do something with a local bakery around here, and I've also talked with a few businesses in Orlando by my school, and I've just been trying to do stuff. Also, recently, I'm just trying to just make something, just make stuff so I can get better at doing videos and all that. I was telling you this before this we started recording, but I've been playing with DaVinci Resolve a little bit, and for that I've like those like highlight reels for cars you see sometimes. It's like, ooh, look at me, I have so much money, dude. Look how much I've wasted into my car. So I've just been doing that, but with my like little jalopy, basically, just doing something, just to like, even if it doesn't matter, just trying to do something so I can get better and just show people like, hey, I know what I'm doing, that sort of thing.
Has it been fun going through all of this and getting the different clips and videos?
Yeah, I I love doing video stuff. It's yeah, it's been loving it since I was a kid, even when I was just making terrible let's plays. That there's just something about like videos and films and all that. It just speaks to people more. I think it speaks like there's writing. Okay, that's fine. Writing's cool. There's music. Music's really cool. I'll admit that. That's pretty cool. But something about just seeing a film or like seeing a video, I think that speaks to people more than anything. And it's just what I like to do. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the power of video is just so powerful. And I mean, even doing this, podcast in video form now, it's able to reach a lot more people than just having it in one medium. And yeah, I mean, I really enjoy it, and it's just such a great way to connect with people and allows the people to relate easier as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and so you mentioned too that in creating your reel that that you've also been working with different businesses in the local area. So how has it been for you personally? Going through and meeting the different people of this organizations. Did you already know some of these individuals or businesses, or did you find out about them in doing your research?
Okay, so like basically, I don't know anybody in Brevard County aside from my partner, their family. So I've had to really just like figure things out. Just like I was lucky with the record shop because I had been there before, and the lady just always seemed really nice, and so I'm like, this could be a good start. And so she was like the first person to that I asked and like, hey, can I do something for you? And she's like, sure, sure. And it worked out perfectly too because she actually has a background in photography and that sort of thing, and so she completely understood where I was coming from, what I was trying to do. So she's been like a little bit of a mentor, which is really nice, really nice. It's always nice to have someone like that in person. Um, who else? I have done when I was in high school and up where I used to live in Deltona. There was a for my video class. There was so my teacher, he used to coach soccer, and there was a soccer player that who's an insurance broker now, and as like a small little internship type of thing, I was to help him do stuff, and I still have his number, and I told him about what I'm doing, and he's like, "Yeah, go on." So yeah, I have him as a mentor as well, which is really nice. I want to do stuff for him again um, soon, one day. But yeah, I've just been trying to build my network in Brevard, trying to make a small presence in Orlando. It's just a far drive, so I haven't put too much effort into that. But yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Well, since you mentioned that you want your business to mainly serve the Orlando and area as well as the Space Coast, so how far is that away from where you live now?
It's like an hour. it's not like it's that big of a deal. It's just when you're a student, and so for money right now, I need to leave it. I'm thinking of like getting a job at like Pan Express or something. I do like DoorDash delivery, but the money's not there. It's stressful. The money's not there. I'm destroying the car, and I'm poor, and so I'm thinking of like switching jobs for something more stable, which would allow me to do more stuff and not have to worry about it. But yeah, that's the main reason why I don't go as far as I want to, basically. But I'm working there. I'm working on it.
Well, it at least sounds like you're well into developing your personal plan and expanding what you want to do. So, what is your plan for immediately after you finish your time at Valencia College?
Immediately after I finished my time, so me and my partner actually we do not want to stay in Florida. Uh, we have our reasons. There's a lot of reasons. So we're looking at going to Georgia, actually, and I want to see perhaps like depending on where we live, if I can like go into the Atlanta metro. There's a lot of work in Atlanta, and I want to see if I can get into there. But first, I want to start off all my stuff here in Florida while I'm here. So yeah.
Well, that makes perfect sense. And so yeah, so since that's just about, I believe, a semester or two away, if I remember correctly.
Uh, Something like that. I'm. I don't know exactly how close I am. I know I'm close though.
Well, nevertheless, though, so over the course of this next year, so while you're still in Florida before making a move to wherever you ultimately decide to, whether it be Atlanta or otherwise, what are some of your goals for continuing your videography or otherwise, while you're still here?
While I'm still here, I want to just be able to get started in terms of having this be like my main source or my only source of income, or not the only, but just the main source. Like, I don't want to be a, I don't want to be a delivery driver. I don't want to be a freaking working at Pan Express. I want this to be what supports me and my partner. Uh, I don't even I don't even care if I'm like rich. That doesn't matter to me as much. I just want to be able to support myself doing this. So yeah.
Well, your goals are definitely, I mean, very admirable, and I'm glad that you're working to support you and your partner. And of course, I wish you all the best. And so, is there anything else that you would like, the viewers, of course, yeah, the viewers or listeners to know about what you do, your business, and well, your future business, and anything, any services that you might offer in the future? Is there anything that you'd like to tell anyone?
So currently, I do videography. I'm trying to like do commercial or not commercials, but like social media posts, that sort of thing. That's what I've been trying to do. Commercials are a whole other story. But I've mostly been looking at the restaurants right now. I'm gonna see if I can expand to something else. Restaurants is just what I know. Um, I want to see if I can get into something else. Ultimately, I think something that would be cool to do is have my own like film, like a feature length project one day. But to sustain myself, I'm just doing like like trying to do like social media at the moment. I'd love to do stuff for like um, different brands, that sort of thing that I actually like. Uh, services. That's what you're asking me. Sorry. Yeah, videography. I do a little bit of photography. Um, it's not my favorite thing, photography, but I'll dabble in it. Uh, I'm still trying to actually get paid for stuff. I want to get good enough so I can start or get enough like people where I can start charging stuff. I did a wedding for free for like a friend. Oh my god. Don't do weddings for free unless you're like I don't know, unless you're doing a massive favor because those are stressful. I'm happy that they weren't very picky, but that's stressful. Uh, so if I ever do another wedding, I'm charging decent for that. Just based on all the stress from that. Um, I think one day having a drone would be cool. I have that as a service. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to dabble in everything right now, and then niche down later, essentially.
Well, that makes perfect sense, but at least well, I said you're working, you're getting the experience and working to make it happen. So kudos for you for, for really sitting yourself down and, working to,
Thank you.
to figure it out.
Yeah, thank you. It's a process, but I got to do it. If I don't do the process, then I'm not gonna do anything, and I don't want to do nothing. So I'm working on it.
That is good to hear. And so, yeah, is there anything else that you'd like to say while you're here on today's episode?
Uh, I guess I could do my little motivational thing that you can put in or whatever. Just like it's never too late. I know I said like if I don't start now, but like I could have used a lot of time better during the pandemic to lift myself up and do that. But hey, if I started later than I wanted to, but I still started, you know. So I just want you to know that even if it don't if it doesn't feel like um you're doing what you want to do and you feel like it's too late, it's not too late. You can just make the space to do what you want to do. Basically, it'll be worth it. I don't know if that made that much sense. If I'm not that good at speaking, but yeah, I hope yeah.
No, you are perfectly fine. And yeah, I mean, but that's just such a great sentiment that you have. And so, yeah, if anyone would like to, check out what you do or reach out to you, what is the best way for them to do so?
Okay, so I have an Instagram. It is Lucas dot a dot Marrero Marrero. Uh, and in the bio, there's a link tree. That's my favorite thing to send to people. It has just all the links to everything. Actually, what's the link tree link? I forget what it's called. I think it's just uh, I think it's just Linktree slash Lucas Marrero. Uh, yeah, Linktree. That's linktr.ee slash Lucas Marrero, and that has like everything. It has a link to my demo reel. It has a link to my website, to the Instagram, LinkedIn. Um, but yeah, that's where I would send people if you want to look at me to see everything I do, basically.
That is good to know. Well, like I said, thank you so much, Lucas, for coming on here. It's been great meeting you. And yeah, I definitely wish you all the best in everything that you do going forward.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope the same goes for you.
Thank you so much. I so greatly appreciate that.
Thank you. Of course. And thank you for having me on this lovely, lovely, lovely program that you have. I hope that it takes off more than you have it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I definitely greatly appreciate all your support. And yeah, definitely take care and enjoy your summer 2023.
I'll try. I have classes.
Well, nevertheless, I hope that your classes go well and that you are able to finish out your time at Valencia College strong.
Thank you, thank you. Let's get it over with. I need to graduate. I need a degree.
Well, I wish you all the best in that. For those of you watching or listening, thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of the Tansson Talks show. I always enjoy doing this. I'll catch you all next week, but until next time, have a wonderful day, everyone, and let's make things happen. I'll see y'all later. Take care.
Make it happen.
And that's a wrap on this episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Tansson Talks show. A big thank you goes out to our sponsor, Descript, for sponsoring this episode. If you're interested in checking out transcription tools, be sure to find our affiliate link for Descript in the description of this episode. Also, if you'd like to check out any of our official merchandise, go ahead and find us at merch.tanssonmedia.com. Of course, be sure to subscribe to the Tansson Talks show on YouTube or anywhere you can find podcasts. Until next time, this has been Brandon, and I'll see y'all later. Take care.